Autism is no longer rare. Today, 1 in 36 children is diagnosed, and that number keeps rising. But what's even more alarming is how misunderstood this diagnosis has become. Online, you'll hear a lot about neurodiversity and being proudly autistic. And listen, we believe in respecting and supporting every single child. But for families navigating the daily realities of level 2 and especially level 3 autism, the truth is this isn't just a different way of thinking or unique personality traits. These children are struggling with their health in a multitude of ways, and their families are in constant crisis. We're talking about children who can't speak, who can't sleep, who self injure, scream for hours, and live trapped inside a nervous system stuck in total overload. And parents who are running on empty, trying to hold it all together. And yet, the medical world still says that the root cause is genetic, while the functional medicine world blames the gut. But what if there's something even deeper? A foundational neurological issue that actually explains why so many of these kids can't connect, can't regulate, and can't develop the way that they're meant to. In this video, we're going to break down the three levels of autism, what they really mean for your child's future, and why the fight for understanding the true root cause of autism has never been more important. I want to tell you a story about our friend Luke. His mom, Jackie, was always asking herself if her son would ever heal or be the same again. Her beautiful son, Luke, started regressing at about 13 months. He had completely stopped talking. He stopped making eye contact, was often inconsolable, had a hard time sleeping, had many sensory challenges, and wasn't connecting well to others. It was an extremely difficult time for Luke and his family, but being the powerhouse family that they are, they all got in and they wanted to get him help that he would need to continue progressing again and heal to his fullest potential. His mom said that what had the biggest impact on their life was having neurologically focused chiropractic care on their side. She said that Luke was in EI and getting therapies there right alongside chiropractic, but chiropractic has been their number one tool the whole time. It helped Luke progressively calm and train his nervous system so that his body could start connecting and healing on a deeper level. She said, I knew it was working when we started to be able to get back to some of the parts of our life that were taken away when he slipped away from us. Eye contact, being able to calm down and regulate, but most importantly, when he started talking again. She vividly remembers Luke saying his first words again in the office right after an adjustment, and everyone was blown away with excitement. And very soon after, he was able to speak. His journey continued. Luke kept making positive steps forward. Now, at 10 years old, mom says that Luke is healed to a degree that I wasn't sure I would ever be able to get to. I hoped that he would, I prayed that he would, and I put in the work to make sure that he would, but you just never know. He's a healthy, happy, calm 10-year-old who lights up every room that he's in and will talk your ear off all day long. What are the three levels of autism and what do they really mean? The DSM-5 categorizes autism into three levels based on support needs. Level 1 requires support for social communication and inflexible behaviors. Level 2 requires substantial support with more pronounced communication delays and repetitive behaviors. Level 3 requires very substantial support with severe communication impairments and extremely limited social interaction. While these levels help determine educational and therapeutic support needs, they don't really address the underlying neurological dysfunction that creates these traits in the first place. Most families are never told that these levels can change over time when the root neurological cause is properly addressed. But they absolutely can change, and we see it happen all the time in our work when the foundational root cause are addressed head on. Let's talk about the real root cause behind autism that most doctors miss. It's not always genetic. Exposure to stress and toxicity during critical developmental periods triggers the neurological dysfunction that manifests as autism traits. At Generations Chiropractic, we understand autism through the perfect storm concept, a sequential exposure to stressors, including fertility challenges, high amounts of maternal stress during pregnancy, birth trauma from interventions like induction, forceps, vacuum extraction, or C-sections, low birth weight, prematurity, and excessive exposure to toxins, antibiotics, medications, vaccinations, and other chemicals early on and often in life. These factors create nervous system imbalance and dysregulation, also known as subluxation and dysautonomia, where the sympathetic fight or flight response becomes stuck on hyperdrive and the parasympathetic vagus nerve, the rest, digest, and regulate system is suppressed and almost shut down altogether. This then triggers a cascade of effects within the body and brain of a child with autism, disrupting digestion and gut health, triggering immune system challenges and neuroinflammation, and causing severe challenges with motor tone, coordination, and development, often leading to not just developmental delays, but also things like stimming, tics, toe walking, and more. How are levels 2 and 3 of autism different from level 1? Simply put, the severity of neurological dysfunction and dysregulation is much higher in children struggling with levels 2 and 3 than it is for level 1. And these dysfunctions and root cause triggers are driven much deeper within the body and the brain. That's not to say that level 1 children still don't struggle with sleep, digestive issues, motor and coordination, sensory challenges, and some social anxieties. It's just that the level and severity of their challenges are easier to adapt to and work with via therapies and support interventions. The earlier a child was exposed to these stressors and the more severe that they were, the stronger the correlation to their level of autism severity later on in life, which explains why some children require minimal support while others need very substantial support. The most exciting thing for parents and other professionals with our neurologically focused work is that we don't just need to rely on symptoms and surveys to sort out the severity or levels of a child's challenges. We can actually measure the depth and severity of their nervous system dysfunction and subluxation directly using our neurological insight scanning technology. Through the use of our neurothermal scan, which looks for neuroinflammation and dysfunction, EMG scans that measure disrupted neuromotor tone and coordination, and then heart rate variability, or HRV, that measures overall nervous system dysregulation and dysautonomia, we know exactly what depth and severity of neurological dysfunction your child is struggling with. Best of all, this then allows us to fully create a customized and personalized care plan and adjusting protocols for your child's unique and specific needs. No more cookie cutter approach to caring for your child with autism that is all too common, not only in traditional medicine, but often even in functional or biomedical settings nowadays. Our doctors are trained to use what we call neurometrics to find the severity of sympathetic dominance, subluxation, vagus nerve damage, and so much more with the insight scans. Here I want to show you a set of scans with someone that has level 2 autism. So if you take a look at the scan that's all the way on the left, you will see that is our neurothermal scan. And this looks like neuroinflammation and dysfunction, especially in the areas of the vagus nerve up at the top where you see that big red bar where the neck is, and right in the middle where the adrenal glands are, telling us that there is a lot of inflammation and dysfunction in areas that control stress. And it's been there for a longer period of time. Next, in the middle, you have the EMG scans that measure disrupted neuromotor tone and coordination. What we're looking at here is those numbers at the bottom. You'll see the energy index shows 350. Normally, we'd want to see that around 150 or lower. That tells us that there is too much motor tone in that system. Basically, the system is playing rock and roll music while it's trying to listen to classical. That middle number, or that pattern score, is at 62%. meaning that the coordination throughout the brain and the body is not optimal. We'd like that number to be above 85%, telling us that the brain and the body are talking effectively and those messages are getting sent clean and clear. That last scan that you see on the right with the rainbow graph is our heart rate variability, and that tests overall system dysregulation and dysautonomia. We want to see that white dot be right underneath that Z5 number. When we see it lower, that means that our body has less energy to adapt to stressors. And when we see it shifted off of that middle line, it tells us that our system is stuck more in a sympathetic place and not able to adapt well. Lastly, the best thing ever is that we can track true nervous system healing over time as the care plan progresses and your child starts to make their way out of the storm. This allows us to know for sure that our care is not just addressing symptoms or surface level problems, but actually getting to deeper layers of real healing, because we do these scans throughout care. So you can click on the link in our bio on Instagram to learn more about the levels of autism and how neurologically focused chiropractic care may help your child and entire family experience a much improved quality of life.